Welcome back to Paradise Killer. I think we're on episode 9, thereabouts. And we fell into the water and we came back down here. This is behind that big pink building, and way, way down. There's the elevator that we can take back up if we want to. It's not that far, not that hard to reach. But since this area is fairly interesting, let's go do some fairly interesting things. Here's a jet ski. I wonder where it will take us. You can see where it's taking us by the screen there, which was just showing us a line to a pyramid. And we've got some kind of holy music. We need everything to get in here. You cannot get in here until near the end of the game. Alas. Now, I think you can get to the top of this pyramid. Shall we try it? It's a little bit of a challenge because these holes. There we are. Can you hear the god growling? Like snoring? How come Doom Jazz gets a yacht? He likes his private time. How do you put it? How do you put in to get one? How do I become a yacht owner? It's my dream to own a yacht. How long have you had this dream? About 13 days. Alright, so Doom Jazz's yacht is where we're going to go next. And we are now at the top of the pyramid. We can look at this giant statue. I don't think that there's anything up here. These are much, much further away than they look. And I don't think that we can find anything else in terms of, pickups or whatever. I think we are just doing that for the thrill of having done it. There's no secret back entrance in the Sea God. That's strange. That visual effect is glitching out. My guess is that they forgot to check all of the weather effects this far from the main island. It's fine. So we'll go and talk to God when we've got all of the unlocks. We don't have any of the unlocks yet, so it's going to be a little while. Let's go talk to Doom Jazz. You can see him over there, standing on the yacht. We're not going to talk to him just yet, though. Let's go look at this sparking door first. The back door to Doom Jazz's clinic. This should be covered by the Syndicate HQ logs, but the door log looks broken. That means it won't log who enters and exits. How convenient! Yeah, see how it's busted? Now the question is, do we want to try and get... Yeah, okay, that should be fine. The water here isn't deep enough to kill us, so let's grab that blood crystal while we're here. Doom Jazz is another one of the people that I didn't catch on to real early in my first playthrough, because you don't generally come down here unless you come down from up there. It's not an easy place to find. And that led to... I mean, Doom Jazz is a minor character, so it led to some confusion as to what his role was. But this time we're seeing him nice and early.
Lady Love dies.
As gorgeous as you were 3 million days ago. The Syndicate's head doctor, born in the Cannon Fortress, Scotland, at the same time as everybody else, under the sign of cosmic deceit. Growing up during a military campaign, Doom Jazz longed to be a doctor. He snuck into the haunted Ziggurat Medical School and studied in the library after hours. He became their top student and battlefield medic. He was captured during the Great Betrayal and lost his arms in a torture chamber before being rescued by Eyes. Eyes isn't in this game, but he's very important. Eyes Kiwami. The two fled to join the Syndicate.
Wonderful.
I'm glad to be back.
I missed the Doom Jazz Charm
I've
Offensive.
missed you, Love Dies.
And I've missed the Love Dies Sayas.
Investigator.
It's been just swell down here. I assume you got the memo about last night?
Got it.
Something like that. I presume you're here on business and not for something nicer.
Sure.
I'm a professional.
Don't test me.
You're in high spirits.
The island is
We
about
all
to
deal with
end.
grief in different ways. Do not be mistaken. I am well aware that this is a catastrophe. I'm just not one for outwardly displaying misery.
Got it.
What's your take?
Theoretically,
I keep to myself. I'm not interested in schemes. Got a second? I got all the time in the world.
I've missed you, Love Dies.
It's been so long since we spent time together. You still a wine and whiskey woman?
Got it.
Not a lot of either in the Idle Lands. Got coffee, though. Want a glass with me? I got a bottle of Freedom Letter open. I'd love a glass.
Fabulous. Lady Love Dies.
Time to breathe.
Ha-ha!
So we're just hanging out with him, getting to know him a little bit, and he's welcoming us back.
Sure.
I like the fact that we already know almost everybody on the island. We have long histories with these people. That allows us to immediately have nice social connections with them. We don't have to worry about trying to figure out who they are. We can just have them be who they are right away because they're already comfortable with us. Of course, then we have to explain to the player who they are, and that's where the machine comes in.
Sure.
Ha-ha!
Starlight always tells us who these people are, but that's of course for the
I was born.
for the player.
Fabulous. I see. My
And as you may have noticed, we were hitting on him, and he was hitting on us.
I don't.
But here, he's the very first person to actually give us a clue because we raised his relationship.
You've got this wrong.
See, got this probe. After hanging out with people, they'll often give you probes. Now, these are different depending on the person. Not everybody has the same amount of, friendship that they need to give you a probe. And some people have 2 probes. It's quite confusing. Now, over on the left, you can see what I was talking about when I was saying that some of the drawings are a little bit rough. Although the design of Doom Jazz is fantastic, you see how his legs are kind of Inspector Gadget legs? It's really interesting to me, some of the shortcuts that got taken in the art, because the overall design is super top-notch. Every single one of these characters really shouts. But it's kind of strange how sometimes their execution is a little bit uneven. And I'm not against it, especially since you don't normally see Doom Jazz's legs. It's just that it's really interesting to me to see it.
I had nothing to do with this.
Despite the tragedy of last night, this island is infinitely more radiant now that you're here. Because it's you and I can't get you out of my head, I'll break some ethics. I've treated Witness for death scream trauma. Witness to the End is the person that our architect hung out with, Carmelina. So they were together on the night of the murder.
Hypothetically.
I eventually narrowed it down to psychic death screams. So Witness can hear when people die. That's the key here. He can hear when people die, and he was hanging out with Carmelina when people died.
Strange. How?
We had a case on Island 15. A Syndicate member killed themselves because they kept hearing psychic death screams. But no one else on the island, not in the way Witness does. The psychic death scream is important not just as a passive clue, but as an active clue, which we'll see much, much later.
The investigator is here.
So here we are being told that demonically possessed people might get an adrenaline boost if people die nearby, which is us looking into red herring. Could he have broken out because someone died? Because he heard a psychic death scream? Let's find out.
You've got this wrong. I'm a professional.
So Witness always leaves the room when he takes phone calls and seems to be secretive and annoying, all that jazz.
That's weird.
Why?
The idle chatter really does work pretty well with certain characters. Doom Jazz is a fairly good one in my opinion. Do you think Henry did this?
I have a bad feeling about
Go and see
this.
Akiko. I left my report with her. That didn't answer my question. I can't tell you.
What?
Sorry.
Hypothetically?
We don't know what the seals are, he says. In fact, the only seal that the people on the island actually understand is the first one because it's two dudes with swords. The other three are only understood by very, very few people, most of whom are dead.
Lady Love dies.
The facts and the truth. Got it. Don't test me.
So she just told us that we kidnap citizens and force them to pray to genocidal gods. Of course, the Syndicate would believe one of the vile working class would do this. So we're not the good guys. This whole island sequence thing involves kidnapping thousands or tens of thousands or millions of people with every single island we make, and then we oppress them pretty horribly.
This is bad.
I'm sort of pushing through these because I don't want to spend all day on them, but we're going to go ahead and keep pushing through. I'll try and call attention to any of them that are clues.
What?
So Doomjazz investigated Henry. He looked at Henry when Henry was... Henry is the red herring. I found a door. The back door to your clinic. It's broken.
Sure.
Yeah, you certainly didn't know that it was broken. He actually broke it on purpose a long time ago. What do you know about K-Hax? I heard he was missing. You been up to his place on the cliffs? Did you see the architect last night? This is just general purpose, like trying to figure out anyone, asking everybody the same things.
Theoretically.
Now the dead zone is a place we haven't gone. We're gonna go there soon-ish, but it'll be a little while because it's quite a hike. So now you've seen Doomjazz, and you've seen the Outer Pyramid. Did Doomjazz really take a whole 10 minutes? Let's go ahead and push on a little bit. I don't want to stop on Doomjazz. That's kind of sad. I think we want to go up to the bar next. So we'll do that. We'll head up. Shoot. I was just trying to hop over. I wanted the loot, not the lake. You can see that little red capped thing back there, purple capped thing. That is clearly something for me. Yeah. So we can't easily get across this area, but now that we've got a double jump, we can manage it. We can manually push ourselves all the way over to here, but I think this might be the end of the line. I think this might be a little too much deep water. No, we were an inch off. Oh well, it's fine. We teleport back up here, which is why I did it. So now that we're back up here, we could continue to try and get red stones and all that stuff. We'll do that some other time as an extras video. What we really want to do is either we could go and investigate the crime, or we could do what I did the first time. So let's go investigate the crime instead, because otherwise it'll be a little while before we come back here. Now, the crime in question is underneath this building, so presumably if we head over here, we'll be able to find it. If you were wondering why I wasn't picking up that blood crystal whenever you saw me walk by it, it's because this route leads to the crime scene. And there was no reason to pick it up if I was going to have to come back here anyway. So this brutalist architecture setup is very interesting. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but I really don't know if I appreciate how this looks. It feels very bland when everything is all gray. This is the only part of the island I don't really like. This is the murder weapon Henry was found with. It's a combat knife, clean blade, covered in blood. Starlight can run the blood. All the blood is from council members. There are 2 other blood samples as well, presumably from the 2 guards that died. Yeah. This is where Henry was found. If I find where he started from, I can compare the timeline to the distance. Why are there cans of beer here? Look at this mess.
Crime is repulsive.
Oh god, it's awful. Look at all that pixel blood. There are ragged gashes across the throat of each soldier. The cuts were done with a blade, but not a perfect one. Nicks or damage on the blade probably caused the messy cuts. We were just told that Red Herring's blade was clean. Like, it doesn't have any nicks or cuts on it. These symbols are drawn in the blood. They are demonic glyphs from a cosmic language I don't recognize. Later on, we will recognize it. These are the glyphs that are carved into Red Herring's skin by the demon.
Ooh, the investigator is what the hell?
These aren't marshals. So if you come up here when you're supposed to, near the beginning of the game, you quickly realize the whole marshal plot is something more significant. But if you go through the rest of the island and don't come up into this direction for 10 hours, and you get here, and then suddenly someone's like, oh, Akiko this, Akiko that, marshals this, marshals that, you're like, oh, what the heck? And that's because the marshals are all the marshal plot lines are very, very tightly focused into this one spot and one other spot on the island, which we'll talk about later. And that makes it hard for us to catch them if we're wandering around the rest of the island, because they're not scattered around like a lot of the other plot lines.
The facts and the truth are not the same.
Yeah, so they're not marshals.
I don't like this. I need to investigate this. Got it.
Analyzing.
Got it. Sure. Is this a fact or a truth?
Yeah, so that was all just explaining the same stuff I was explaining. If we come on over into this area, this is a central chamber where I believe that this is where our investigation has to stop, because I don't believe we can get through the second seal yet, but let's take a look. Anything over there? There's a save point. That's fine. You ever been to space, Love Dies?
Sure.
I always wanted to. I hear the moon's nice and quiet. Well, strap in. Beyond that door is space.
Sure.
Is that a metaphor? No, it's space. This is the second holy seal. It's a rock floating through space. You know, the cosmos.
What the hell?
Are you even listening? Yeah, it's one of the safeguards that the killer got through. You gotta find a solution to the puzzle on the plateau in order to get to the rest of the building.
How?
How do you know about the second seal? Space has a stench. It's full of cosmic horror and existential nightmares. I can smell it. And the puzzle? I came to this island through a psychic corridor in space. I got a feel for these things. Sure, I could solve the puzzle. Imagine you put a rock in an empty drink can. You can turn the can and feel the rock move. You can shake it and feel it. You learn how the rock moves, and without seeing it, you can work out how to get it out of the opening, right? It's like that, but the rock is a dumb puzzle designed by someone who thinks they're more clever than they are. And the can is space. You, however, aren't attuned. You're not from space.
How?
Are you kidding me? You're the investigation freak. Find your own way through. Someone that knows about space. The prime suspect is Henry, the red herring, right? If he got through here, it must be because the demon inside of him feeling its way through. So basically they're saying that red herring might have been able to come through because Shinji can go through. And Shinji is a demon, and red herring has a demon in him.
The investigator is here. How?
So they're trying to say that there was a way that red herring could get through, but the simple fact is there's no way for red herring to get through.
Nanny the hell?
Yay, a space helmet in space. Yay. So, he found this behind a planter, which is important because we'll need to actually see the other space helmets.
Like this.
Anyone with a space helmet probably went through the second seal, so we need to know who's got space helmets and who used space helmets.
Key item obtained.
There are a number of other things involved here, but let's go take a look at space. Well, you know what? It's been 20 minutes. Oh, jeez. Time really flies in this game. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just how slow I read. We'll go into space in the next episode.